the herd and the flock should grow together. That will never happen with a human being. Individuals will always grow as individuals. But individualism is a reaction to this flock that they forcefully made. When you make them flocks, now there will rise individualism. Here, every individual was always allowed to seek his own spiritual path. It doesn't matter. See, right now, in every other religion, once you say this is the word of God, you must just follow that because God has said it. But this is the only culture where even if so-called godlike entities came, we only argued with them, we only debated with them, we only asked them 1,000 questions. You just see Shiva tries to speak to his wife she freaks him with 1,000 questions. Krishna, after many years of waiting, that too at the edge of a battlefield, tries to speak to this one guy who is so dear and close to him. Look at that guy, how many questions? And look at me, all these idiots asking how many questions every day and night. Because in this culture, individual growth is most important. So this is what logical mind fails to understand. Growth does not mean you will become a big individual. Growth means your individuality dissolves and you become universal. But instead of being an individual, you try to make a herd. Then in reaction, people develop philosophies of individualism. This me time has come now. Time is there for all of us. Who is stopping you? What is this me time? Me time means you get lost, that's me time.
Sadhguru, I absolutely understand what you're saying, and final dissolving and finding oneself. What I meant was this 4-line I'll read. See, I have used the metaphor of, a diya, a lamp, quite a lot. And mostly I've used it in a sense that the one which fights with the storm and, shines. But I was talking about the mothers, the silent people in our lives, our relatives, our teachers, who are different kind of lamp. And I said, I wrote this, kind of a little humor in it. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम. Very domesticated lamp you are. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. कोई त्योहार भी मना लेते, बस तपस्या ही क्यों लिए हो तुम. बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. कोई त्योहार भी मना लेते, बस तपस्या ही क्यों लिए हो तुम. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, इफ यू फॉट विद द स्टॉर्म्स. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, एक अलग रुतबा तुमको मिल जाता. जिक्र गजलों में करता कोई और, कोई गीतों में तुमको भी गाता. कुछ हवाओं से गर झगड़ते तुम, एक अलग रुतबा तुमको मिल जाता. जिक्र गजलों में करता कोई और, कोई गीतों में तुमको भी गाता. होंठ अपने मगर सिए हो तुम, बहुत ही घरेलू दिए हो तुम, दूसरों के लिए जिए हो तुम. So this is a different kind of lamp I was talking about. And
see, if we look at our own mothers, please, whoever will listen to this carefully, because I am not saying this with any disrespect or without appreciation of what these Garelu Diye people without them life is not the same, okay? So, let's say we take our mothers as example. If we look at it from outside, in today's context, the way people are looking at life in today's context, not when we were growing up, we did not see it that way. Now when we look at it from today's context, how everybody is talking about me time, such a thing never occurred to our mothers, no me time. Because, is it because they're selfless service, they're dedicated? It's not like that. It is just that they form their identity little larger than themselves. For them, me was my family. So, this situation happened when I was about 12 years of age. I mean, today, I know, especially in the West and also in urban centers in India, it's becoming necessary that mothers have to tell their children every few days, I love you, otherwise children will question, do you really love me or not? Because they want something, if you don't get it, suddenly a doubt arises whether my mother loves me or not, my friend's mother loves him more than my mother loves me, this kind of things are happening. Such things never happened to us, nor did our mothers ever say, I love you to us. Never once my mother ever said, I love you. But that was never in question, she lived for us. It's not even that such a thought existed that she lived for us and all this. But there was no such questions because they created an ambience where such things did not arise. So when I was around 12 years of age, she had this, I don't know if I have to call it a habit or a weakness or an insight, that she would end up sharing things with me like I am almost like her elder brother. She never treated me as the youngest child in the family. I was never treated that way, I was not cuddled, I was not carried, because I didn't like those things right from a very early age. So she would share things with me sometimes that she wouldn't even want to share with her husband that she worshipped, literally. So one day, some emotional situation, not exactly I love you kind of stuff, but she said something which is expressing her emotion to me. By then my mind was crazy with questions. By then I had produced a few… I was also a billionaire by then because I had a billion questions. So, when she expressed this, I asked her, suppose I was born in the next house, would you still feel this way about me? I thought it was just a question. But her eyes welled up with tears and she walked away. I thought, what did I do wrong? I just asked a question. But after about 10-15 minutes, she came and I was still there. And she came and touched my feet, like she would do to some elder. She came and held my feet and did like this. I thought, what's happening here? I had no clue at that time. But I just asked a question and it evoked so many things in her. Because at that moment when I asked that question, it struck her so strong because she wouldn't feel that way if I was in the next house, I'm sure. I just asked a simple question in my mind because I was a billionaire, you know. A cloud of billion questions were always following me at that time. It took me a long time, full-time dedication to clear up all that cloud. So, this Gharelu…
Domesticated. I have to spend some more time with you, Sadhguru.
To teach me some Hindi.
I have to come to the ashram.
Gharelu diya, right? So, these people shine not because they want to shine, these people shine simply because inclusiveness has become their way of existence. If only their inclusiveness grew beyond the family, they would become fantastic, which my great-grandmother was. She was, somebody that everybody came to. Always I saw this happening. My grandfather is a big, moneyed man. Every day in the morning transactions happen, people come for payments, this, that, and there he handles it in his own way. Like a king, he sits there and deals with things. In the backyard, my great-grandmother sits there. After they're done with horrible transactions with my grandfather, they will always come to visit her. They have no need to visit her. She is not going to give them a rupee because she doesn't have any. But they come there simply because they like to be with her. They'll simply hang around. She will just abuse them nicely, lovingly abuse each one of them. The more she abuses them, the more they love her. So, her inclusiveness went beyond the family. Suddenly people almost looked at her worshipfully simply because of that. So, what we say as mother, a few days ago was Mother's Day, today is some nurse day, whatever, all these things